The Joe Rogan Experience.
You're into ghosts, you're into Bigfoot, you're into aliens, UFO abductions, everything.
Well, it's entertaining. I'm an entertainer.
It is entertaining.
You know, and I feel like an alien.
You're remarkably sane for someone who holds all of these different things inside their head.
I don't know. My family would maybe say not, but
do you smoke pot?
You know, I'm allergic to terpenes. I love the cannabis story. Terpenes are an oil that's you know it's in everything. You know, it's like limonene.
Is it pot?
Terpenes, yeah. What if you have good pot and you're smoking good pot? What you're smoking, the terpene, that's what makes it. That's what gives it its power.
Terpenes give pot its power.
Yeah, well, it's part of the element that.
I thought it's THC.
Well, terpenes. It's an oil. Terpenes is an oil that's in there in all marijuana. You have the.
So you're allergic to marijuana?
I'm allergic to the terpenes, the cannabinoid. My dad is on the cannabis oil right now to go to sleep. He's 97 years old. Everybody
Shout out
has
to your dad.
yeah, awesome. Everybody has cannabis cannabinoid receptors in them. It is a tremendously healing thing.
There's the terpene. There's a chart. What a cool chart.
Yeah. Terpene benefits, marijuana terpenes, yeah. So somehow,
look at all that stuff.
Yeah, look at them now. You know, and different breeders will put something. My partner and friend Jimmy Belushi has a farm in Oregon. He grows it, and he's researching it.
Oh, he's a dirty drug addict. He's up there selling drugs to people. Jim Belushi pushing drugs.
Well, it's legal now in Oregon.
Brother of John selling drugs.
Well, the point is that if John had been a pothead, he'd be alive today.
Sure,
because he died of a cocaine and heroin speedball injection.
Yeah.
If I'd have had him smoking pot there in the vineyard, like back then, he would be alive today.
Yeah.
But, so
my
I believe
generation of comedians are potheads.
Well, you know what? I hear Seth Rogen's office at Columbia Pictures had to be defumed and defogged when he left. but
I gave him Stoner of the Year award one day.
Yeah,
one of the High Times awards.
Yeah,
I presented him.
Well, cannabis is tremendously valuable. We're finding with if you take the THC out and put the CBD in there, that's great for arthritis and that. Mm-hmm. I like the smell of weed.
You just can't smoke
doesn't bother me.
You're allergic to it.
It just bothers me a certain way.
You should go to an hour just to get that cured.
Well, sure. So I rely on the beverage.
What about
alcohol.
psychedelics? Have you ever had psychedelic experiences?
Oh, yes, I've taken acid and psilocybin and mescaline. Yeah.
Have you ever had some sort of encounters while on psilocybin? One of the things that makes me more open to the idea of extraterrestrials is some of the experiences that I've had on tryptamines. Particularly dimethyltryptamine, but also psilocybin is...
That's DMT goes way back for me. That goes back to high school. How long back is that?
What do you mean?
DMT, yeah. I mean...
Last time it was a year and a half ago.
In a controlled situation?
Yeah.
Tell me about your experience.
I'd
be interested to know. It's kind of a little speedy.
That's a DMT tattoo. That's a DMT molecule.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've had a bunch of them.
It's healing for mental health. They're finding that it has a great effect as a palliative.
Profound alleviation of anxiety.
There you go.
Because it transforms your perception of where you stand in the world, and it's an absolute ego dissolver. You are confronted with experiences that defy logic. And one of the things that this is interesting, one of the things that shied me away from UFOs was DMT. Because it was so profound, it was so crazy that if a UFO landed right in front of my house, I'd be like, yeah, it's not DMT though, because DMT was a completely different dimension and there were things there. Then one of the things
you were in a controlled environment.
Yes.
You were with friends. You were
yeah. But one of the
were
things
you seated? Were you in nature? Were you
seated in the house?
Okay.
In my house.
Yeah,
I've
and
done
you
in other
took how
people's
much?
Houses. Well, you take 3 giant hits.
Who makes that stuff?
I can't tell you.
That's not something you can buy.
They shut down your sci-fi show for talking about aliens.
No, that's right. DMT has there's some prejudice against it, and you can't get that at the drugstore.
It's in thousands of plants. It's literally in almost every plant in nature. In fact, one of the universities in Israel believes that it was responsible for the burning bush that Moses got the 10 Commandments from.
Yeah.
That they think that burning bush was actually the acacia tree, and the acacia tree is rich in DMT.
And it burst into flame and he inhaled the vapor.
Exactly. They
and
think
saw
that
God.
They think that this is just a problem with translation. Is that this idea of the burning bush? Like, oh, there was a burning bush. Well, maybe they figured out a way to extract the dimethyltryptamine from the acacia tree, or this acacia bush as well, and that they took this small amount of dimethyltryptamine from this fire and inhaled it and had this profound religious experience, like I've experienced, like many people who experience that have taken it. And I think that one thing that happens when you do this is you're confronted with entities. Now, I don't know what these things are, but they seem to be communicating with you, and they seem to be talking to you, and they seem to know everything about you. So the question is, like, is that really your subconscious? Is this what you know about yourself stripped down to some very bare, raw form, and then confronted with these psychedelics that perturb your visual cortex? So they provide you with all these intense visualizations, or is it a chemical portal to another dimension?
Were they effulgent beings, light beings?
The way I describe them is they're complex geometric patterns made out of love and understanding, and that they're communicating with you.
Sounds like, H.P. Lovecraft was a wonderful writer, and he describes in
Time Machine.
No, that was H.G. Wells. But H.P. Lovecraft, he wrote the Cthulhu, the Dunwich Horror, and the books about Cthulhu.
That's right, the Cthulhu.
And
right.
he kind of walked out of his life and disappeared from his family and all that. But
where'd he go?
Well, they kind of went out for cigarettes and kind of never came back. But
no one ever found him
Well,
again?
no, I think they found him, but he had vanished for a while. H.P. Lovecraft, maybe look up grave or the demise. But he wrote about geometric shapes. He wrote about interdimensional geometric shapes and getting to a space where you saw the universe in terms of geometry and diamond shaped things and multi patterns and colors. And
do you know the artist Alex Gray? Do you know who
I
he
don't.
is? Alex Gray is a beautiful artist. I mean, amazing guy. And he, all of his stuff is tryptamine based artwork. Pull up some Alex Gray stuff so you can see it. It literally, when you see it, you go, "Oh, that I recognize that. I recognize the."
How long was your voyage?
All of them are about 15 minutes to 20 minutes long, depending upon. This is all Alex Gray stuff.
Oh, beautiful! Look at that.
Pull up the one with that one down on the very bottom in the middle.
There's
the
a couple
red
of skulls.
one. Yeah, look at that. That's very similar to what it feels like when you do dimethyltryptamine. And Alex has had.
Wow!
Uncountable
just if
number
I dropped
of
a little
experiences.
purple barrel right now and just
That's
looked
right.
at that, I'd have a nice afternoon.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice.
Well, a lot of the most profound psychedelic experiences are the compounds. They mimic normal human neurochemistry. Dimethyltryptamine is it's a natural occurring compound in the human brain. It's produced by your liver, your lungs, and there's a lot of evidence, at least in mammals, it's produced by your pineal gland, which is literally your third eye.
That's right. I did DMT way back. I think I was in high school or something.
Whoa.
Something. And I think I was at a motorcycle ice race or something while doing it. So that was...
A motorcycle ice race and DMT.
Yeah.
You're living on the edge in high school, man. This goddamn Canadian.
Yeah, well, that's what the, motorcycle ice racing, you get a little small bike like a Jawa CZ and you put the metal rims with the studs and then you race around the ice. I never did it, but I saw it and I think that's why I went to it. My friend said, "Hey, take one of these. We'll have a better time." So I didn't see any beings, but the race was fun.
Take one how? Orally? How did you take it?
He said it was a pill. It was a cap.
Oh, that doesn't work.
No, you have to inject it.
Yeah. Well, no, you need to freebase it. See,
smoke it.
DMT is.
Oh, right.
Your body produces...
He said it was a cap. He gave it to me in like the size of a horse cap.
Right.
Maybe it was horse trank, and I never know. He said it was DMT.
It's not. Well, if it was, it doesn't work because your body produces monoamine oxidase, and the only way that DMT works orally is if you take an MAO inhibitor. This is what ayahuasca is.
I didn't have that with it.
Yeah. See, ayahuasca is what the indigenous people of the Amazon have figured out is how to take DMT with harmine.
From the plants.
Right, and harmine is a naturally occurring MAO inhibitor. So that's how you could take it orally. It's also why the experience is not as intense, but it's a longer And many people find it more spiritual because you can relax, you can
Jimmy's
fall
done it.
into the experience.
Yeah, Jimmy's
better.
done the ayahuasca.
Yeah, but it's not in a capsule form. He dosed you up with something else. I don't know what
I don't know. Yeah, no, I guess I was something. Yeah, who knows? Back
who
then.
knows? Could have been psilocybin. Well, psilocybin converts in the body to something very similar to DMT. The DMT is the chemical compound is dimethyltryptamine, but something happens in the body's production of DMT, or the body's breaking down of DMT, where it produces something called 4-phoroloxy-NM dimethyltryptamine. This is out of psilocybin. So maybe he gave you psilocybin pills, which is real common. That's real common.
Yeah, could be. But usually if I were to take psilocybin, I'd just eat the mushroom.
Yes. A lot of people take them in capsule form, though, so they can get exact dosages.
I remember sprinkling it on my cereal once.
What?
Yeah, and then going to deliver the mail.
Yeah, my friend took them in peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. He just
I ate a bowl of psilocybin, and then I went and picked up my mail truck, and I was a Royal Mail courier.
Oh, Jesus.
That was an interesting morning.
Did you get everybody's mail to the right place?
Oh, yeah, fast.